Azure Gleam. Fanaticism. The year is 1182. 5 moons have passed since the battle at Arianrhod. While the war itself has changed little in this time, Adrestia has undergone a striking transformation. Its rivers run red with the blood of its citizens, who are beset by rampant pillage and slaughter. Dimitri resolves to kill the Emperor, dismantle Adrestia, and put an end to this grim reality.
Is this true, Lady Rhea?
It is. Edelgard told me as much before she left to deal with the upheaval in Enbar. Regent Volkard von Arundel was colluding with Tomas and his fellow knaves. For many years, Lord Arundel was a pious adherent to the Church and its teachings, until one day, his contributions abruptly ceased. Speaking of it now, I realize such a sudden change ought to have raised suspicion.
Just like Tomas, he became an entirely different person almost overnight. We had a similar occurrence in Fargus as well. Do you know of the court mage Cornelia?
The one who cured the plague, yes? So she too.
Indeed. I have reason to believe she conspired with Lord Arundel to murder my father. I had assumed them to be agents of the Empire, striving to sow discord within our lands. Yet, back at Arianrhod, the Emperor herself was assaulted by a dark mage who we can assume is in league with Tomas. Whoever these people are, they clearly have their own objectives in this conflict.
As for the man who appeared, Talus, was it? It seemed as though the Emperor recognized him.
Yes. She also claimed this Talus was the one responsible for my father's death. I find it difficult to take a bitter enemy's assertion as fact. But the pieces do fit.
Sorry, am I interrupting? It's been a while, Dimitri. Rhea?
That it has, Claude. I'm sorry you had to come all the way to Ferdiad for this.
That makes 2 of us. I can think of plenty of better places for a meeting than this chilly old capital of yours. Of course, I'm the one who asked to stop by in the first place. Thanks for seeing me, Dimitri. The Empire's sure been busy lately. An uprising over here, a siege over there. You'd think they'd get tired of causing so much chaos. But now they're looking to cross the Aramid and do the exact same in Alliance territory. I doubt it'll be long before we start getting hit with some serious losses. Which brings me to my point. What say we partner up and use our combined strength to bring the Empire down?
I am grateful to hear such a suggestion, Claude. Hardened as our soldiers may be, even the combined force of the Kingdom and the Knights of Seros pales in comparison to the staggering might of Adrestia.
If we ever hope to take their capital, we'll need to splinter their army between east and west. And, as Enbar lies in the southernmost reaches of the Empire, carving a path to it will not be an easy task.
I could get behind scattering their troops, but they've got a bear of a man in Count Burgley's defending their eastern flank. Passing through Hevring territory in the west won't be smooth sailing either. The Ogma Mountains aren't exactly what I'd call welcoming.
You're right. Any attempt at head-on assault will leave our forces depleted and exhausted before we even reach the capital.
But hey, you're in luck. I have a plan. A way we can target Enbar without so much hassle. All we have to do is claim one vital stronghold, and their sway in Fodlan will shrink dramatically. Any ideas what it is?
Garreg Mach.
Hey, you really know your stuff, Dimitri.
Garreg Mach is sacred to us. Reclaiming it would provide a significant boost to morale. But how do you propose we strike at such a well-fortified location?
We'll draw the Imperial army out to our respective front lines, then launch a pincer attack on the old monastery from both the east and the west. It's not the fanciest plan in the world, but it's all we've got right now.
Then allow me to suggest an idea of my own. I believe we should approach by way of Aela. The valley is not closely guarded by the enemy, and its narrow paths negate any numerical advantage they may hold over us. If all three of us dispatch our best warriors, then I am certain we can retake Garreg Mach.
The Valley of Torment, huh? You're a better tactician than I gave you credit for, Rhea. How about this? First, we create a diversion by sending separate forces to the east and west and making it look like we aim for their capital. That'll split their focus. Then, when the time's right, we shift our attention to Garreg Mach, sending an army through the Valley of Torment to reclaim it.
The issue then becomes how to hold our ground on both the eastern and western fronts. The west does not concern me on its own, but we will have Count Burgleys to contend with in the east.
The trick is engaging the enemy as little as possible. And don't worry, I've got a few surprises up my sleeve if we need them.
The Knights of Seros may be few in number, but they are all the more agile for it. They will act separately, providing reinforcements wherever necessary.
Thank you, Lady Rhea. The support is much appreciated.
Tell me, Dimitri, are you gonna stay buddied up with the Central Church once this war is over?
My people still seek their guidance. So long as that is the case, I will continue to offer them shelter.
Meaning what? You'd toss them out on the street if nobody needed them anymore?
I doubt such a day would ever dawn. Territories may change, but people's hearts will always be stubborn things. Even if we started our own church like the Empire has, there's no guarantee our citizens would accept it in any timely manner, or at all. Let me ask you, Claude. How long do you plan to maintain this partnership with the Kingdom?
I hope we can keep this beautiful thing going for many years, long beyond the trouncing we're about to hand the Empire.
That glint in your eye says otherwise. But I'm glad to accept you as an ally, for the time being at least.
Come on, you can't seriously be doubting me already. Learn to trust a little, Dimitri. And speaking of trust, I trust you'll be throwing a big feast tonight to celebrate the occasion. I can't wait to taste that old-fashioned Fargus hospitality.
Hard to believe it's already been 6 months since the siege back at Arianrhod.
Quite. It's no surprise we've been at a standstill, though. Both the Empire and Kingdom suffered heavy losses during the battle. But lucky for us, it seems the ice is finally thawing. Let's hope you've kept your wits as sharp as your blade all this time.
Ah, there you are.
Hey, what are they doing here?
Were you not made aware? Our fine leaders have seen fit to integrate our armies, as we'll be fighting on the same side from here forward. Claude was quite insistent on our joining you on the Western Front.
God, just wish it wasn't so cold here. I can feel my muscles tightening up already.
Yes. I had hoped the cold would at least bring a picturesque snowscape with it, but alas.
I'm sorry to say we receive little snowfall in this part of the kingdom. I imagine our winters aren't all too dissimilar from those you experience in Leicester.
So, what would you like us to do?
Well, I guess there are 2 options. Either you all can stay on the front lines with us, or join the rear guard and help in a more indirect way.
Either is more than acceptable for us, though I should say our preference would be to fight by your side. If we fail to distinguish ourselves here, there will be no end to Claude's sarcastic wit upon our return.
Let's take them at the front with us. That's where we're gonna need the most help.
Agreed. We can discuss further with the others later, but it's safe to assume that is the direction we'll head.
Very well. Allow us to show you what Alliance soldiers are capable of.
Nice of Claude to be sending us back up.
Indeed. It's hard to know what their motivations may be, but we need all the help we can muster.
Your tone's telling a different story, though. What's up?
It's merely that we all have our own reasons for taking part in this fight. Everyone. Claude, Rhea, even us. Each side is watching the other like famished hawks for the slightest hint of foul play.
What? You mean there's more to this thing than just stopping the Empire?
Yes. For my part, I would like to uncover the true nature of this enemy hidden in the shadows of Fodlan. The Church likely wants little beyond the reclamation of Garreg Mach. As for Claude, who can say? Rodrigue should be joining us here in the coming month, after he's finished tying up loose ends in the West. But even as our numbers burgeon, we can't afford to lower our guard. The situation demands constant vigilance. I've been waiting for you.
I have an idea.
I've had a thought. I was thinking...
I have a worthy proposition. Then it is settled. Place your trust in me.
Now then. Impressive.
Hey! Hey, Dimitri. Aren't you supposed to be on break today? What's got you down?
It's nothing. I suppose I'm just finding it difficult to relax. It is vexing to no end to lay around doing nothing, while everyone else busies themselves with vital work.
Nobody's forcing you to take vacations or anything. We just want you to have a little break every now and again. Why are you so desperate to work, anyway?
Because it is my duty. No. It is the only way I know how to live. As part of the royal bloodline, my life has never for a moment belonged to me. Not even at the instant of my birth. And as a survivor of that horrible tragedy, There are certain responsibilities only I can shoulder.
I don't get it. Why does all that stuff have to fall on you? Nothing's gonna go the way you want if you can't bring yourself to trust people who just want to help. And don't even try to tell me you'd be happy with that.
All I want is to ease the pain, both for those who perished that day and for those who yet live. I'm fully aware that I will need to make sacrifices if I ever hope to accomplish that goal. But I will not drag others into my own personal crusade. I won't let anyone else suffer. So, you see, it's better for me to carry the burden myself. And better for everyone else as well.
You say you don't want to see people suffer. But what about you, Dimitri? What about your pain? You don't have a hope in the world of caring for other people if you can't care for yourself first.
I'm not sure how to respond to that. And in truth, I don't know how to alleviate my own pain. I've never given the matter any thought. What would happiness even look like for me?
How can you not know something like that? Just think about it. What kind of things make you smile? Maybe when you finally conquer a tough rival? Or hold a banquet after surviving a dangerous battle?
I don't believe I bear the right to such happiness, but if that time were to come, it would be upon my death, having devoted my life to forming a peaceful kingdom full of joyful citizens.
Seriously? You can be downright dismal sometimes, you know that? Why is death the first thing that comes to mind when you think about being happy?
Dismal? Yes, perhaps you're right. But I find it difficult to consider anything else that may cause me joy.
Come on, nothing? What about ending this war quick and celebrating with all your friends? I'm sure Dedue and the others would whip up the grandest feast you've ever laid eyes on.
No, such revelry would be wasted on me. But I suppose seeing the smiles on everyone's faces would be enough.
Thanks for thinking of us, oh great king. But fine, if you want to carry your own burdens for the rest of your life, so be it. We'll just have to take extra good care of you, though, since you clearly won't do it yourself. For starters, you're gonna take a break, and by the goddess, you're gonna like it. Come on, Dimitri. We're gonna get you away from camp for a bit.
No words can express my gratitude.
Dedue, sir. We'd like to hear your opinion on the matter we discussed earlier.
Regarding Count Karen, as I discussed with Gustav,
Looks like things are finally changing, Dedue. They've really started warming up to you, huh?
they have. That soldier I was speaking to lost his mother in Dusker. She was a knight of the kingdom. Naturally, his feelings toward me were complicated. We argued many times.
You arguing? Can't imagine what that looks like.
I thought it better than just letting him hurl abuse at me. Such a reaction was surprising for me as well. But now we have fought together, worried together, faced death together. I have shown him what I'm capable of, and he has come to trust me in turn.
Nice. Sounds like you really earned his respect then. Congrats, Dedue.
Strange. Why are you so happy for me?
Because we're friends. And friends are happy for each other when good stuff happens to them.
Are they?
Anyway, now you've just got to keep it going and get even more people to trust you. Same goes for me. And Dimitri while we're at it.
You're right.
In the meantime, I'm gonna keep winning battles until I prove myself to you once and for all. So make sure you keep an eye on me out there, Dedue. Because I'm gonna be the most valuable fighter we've got. What? What's so funny?
Nothing. I look forward to your performance. But you already have my trust, no matter your origin or identity.
Really? You never know when I might betray you and turn my sword on Dimitri, though. Not to mention this weird power I have. Can you seriously say you trust me with that in mind?
Your power is concerning, but it does not define you. I'm sure you would not so easily betray His Majesty or myself. But know that if you do, I will cut you down without hesitation. That's who I am. You must understand by now.
Weird way to tell me you trust me, but it's got Dedue written all over it. I'm honored.
What's wrong? Your footwork is even sloppier than usual.
You noticed that, huh? It's nothing. There's just been a lot on my mind lately is all. And I was kinda lost in thought when you lunged at me, so I couldn't really react too well.
Training isn't the time for idle contemplation. You're worthless as a sparring partner if you let your mind wander. Not to mention that you do the same thing in actual battles. Getting distracted when you're training is one thing. Do it out there, and the enemy will cut you down without hesitation. We've been through this before. If there's something on your mind, just come out with it already.
I was just thinking you have a pretty good read on me now, too.
It was obvious something was wrong from the way you were fighting. And this is just payback for last time, so no complaining.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not.
If you say so. There's still something I don't understand, though. Where did you learn to fight like that? You clearly don't move like a knight, but I've never seen a mercenary use those techniques either.
I guess you could say I taught myself. I didn't really have one teacher who showed me everything. If anything, I just kind of picked stuff up as I moved from one band of mercs to the next.
That explains it. I was wondering why your style was so hard to read. Both knights and mercenaries use a standard set of battle-tested tactics, a book they all play by. But you're not bound to any single convention. I suppose that's what I found strange.
Probably doesn't help that I don't have to draw my sword like everyone else. When I think about it like that, it might have been for the best that I taught myself instead of subscribing to a particular school of thought.
A unique style all your own. Fascinating. Teach me.
I'd be glad to, but I'm the only one who can use my sword. It won't be easy to replicate.
That's for me to decide. If nothing else, I can adapt your moves for my own purposes. The more styles I know, the better.
If you say so. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'll do what I can. Oh, and you can teach me in exchange. The more styles, the better, right? You fight sorta like a knight, but also sorta not. I mean that in a good way, of course. I'm not sure how to put it. It's almost like you react to the situation as it plays out. So, yeah. If we can combine our two styles somehow, I bet we'll both end up stronger for it.
Maybe so.
He's making a run for it, Felix! Don't let him get away!
Not a chance. He's mine!
Nice work out there. It's a real confidence boost knowing you have my back.
I could say the same for you. Now that I know your style better, I have less trouble predicting your movements.
Glad to hear it. Guess you must have a pretty good read on me by now, huh?
On your sword, perhaps?
There you go again. You know, I've gotten a good grasp on the way you think. It's like you decide on a role for yourself, then do whatever you can to see it through. Of course, the role changes depending on the situation and who's fighting beside you. Sometimes you attack, sometimes you defend. It's incredible just how versatile you are.
No need for compliments. That's simply how I was taught to be.
Really? By who?
My father. He may prefer a spear or magic, but he's more than capable with a sword in his hands too.
Right. Makes sense it'd be Rodrigue. His weapon of choice might be different, but he adapts himself to the flow of battle just as well as you do. Probably better, actually.
The style didn't start with him, though. It's something the leaders of our house have passed down throughout the ages. House Fraldarius has been the king's lance and shield for generations. Ever since the time of Kaifin, sworn friend of the great King Lugh. At times, we've been sent to defeat the crown's enemies. At others, we've held back to defend the throne. I admit the style has its uses, idiotic history of blind faith aside.
Huh. So that's why you fight the way you do. You're indispensable, Felix. Not just to Dimitri, but to everyone else, too.
I suppose if I'm a lance and shield, you would be like some kind of projectile, an arrow or a stone.
You're saying I'm good at taking the enemy by surprise, right? You sure could learn to be more direct with your compliments, you know?
You can interpret it that way if you want. In any case, you're just as important to this army as I am. Between that sword of yours and the way you can shapeshift, nobody ever knows what you'll do next. Some might say your powers are dangerous, but I think they provide the perfect element of surprise.
Huh. Glad to hear you say so.
There's one fault I can't get past, though. You can never stay focused during battle. It's almost like you're talking to someone while you fight. Someone in your head that... Hey, what's with the smile?
Huh? Oh, sorry. I'm just really happy we've gotten to know each other so well. Only a true friend would be that open with their criticism. Thanks, Felix.
Say what you will. That's the last piece of advice I'm ever giving you.
He wasn't really mad, was he? It's so hard to tell sometimes. Ugh, today's training was rough. Guess I need to start working even harder if I want to keep up.
You know, it's incredible just how into all this you are. But I do feel kind of bad for you.
Why? It's my own fault for not being up to snuff. Just you watch, Sylvain. I'm gonna stand head and shoulders above everyone else in the next battle.
That's not what I mean. I feel bad that we roped you into this war. The only reason any of us are fighting is to keep our homes from being destroyed. If we fail, we'll lose everything. Our houses, our families.
the places we grew up. But you don't have that kind of personal stake in this thing. You can live wherever the wind takes you.
True. I am a bit of a nomad.
Isn't there anywhere you call home, though?
Well, sorta. I grew up in a remote village off in the mountains, so that's probably the closest thing. But it's hard to really say for sure. Honestly, I doubt I'll ever understand what it means to have a home like all of you do.
So what? Are you just in this for the money, then?
No, I'm only putting all this effort in so I can make sure my friends get through the war alive. Though I'm not gonna complain about the money either.
Okay, now you're just trying to sound good. Though it is working, I'll give you that.
Really, I think this is the closest thing to a home I've ever had. Because I've got all of you here.
Are you sure? This place doesn't make for quality living, trust me. I mean, it's cold, it's desolate, and there's nowhere to go to have any fun. Plus, we've constantly got enemies like Srang soldiers coming at us from every angle.
Well, I can't deny that. But it's still important to you anyway, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And it's our job to make it a place where everyone can live in peace.
Right. Who knows what'll happen after the war. But for now, I'm with you guys every step of the way.
I appreciate it. Oh, yeah, and about those plans for the fire orb I showed you? Would you mind helping me with a little experiment later? The thing hardly had any punch to it when I tested it.
Sure. Sounds like it's a long way off still, huh?
Hey, I'm trying here. I even got in touch with the School of Sorcery to see if they could help.
No rush, Sylvain. I'm sure you'll finish it one of these days. I've spent enough time with you to know. You can do anything when you put your mind to it.
Today's training was a total mess. My feet are killing me.
You need to stay in peak shape, though. You never know when we might get tossed into a battle.
True. We've got to be ready for anything.
Mercedes? You daydreaming again? Gotta say, you've been acting all kinds of weird lately.
Have I? I feel perfectly fine, I assure you.
You sure? Back when we had that tea party, you looked so... I don't know... sad.
I suppose I can't hide anything from you. Things like tea parties with dear friends, or seeing the trainees work so hard to improve. It reminds me of how things were before the war, if just for a moment.
You mean back at the academy?
Yes, and before that when I lived with my mother and my little brother. It also reminds me of the time I spent studying with friends at the School of Sorcery in the capital. Things may not have been easy then, but I would give anything to return to those days.
Huh. I don't think I've ever seen you get this sentimental about something.
The feeling surprises even me. All my years, I've gone wherever the current of life chose to sweep me. In truth, I used to think nothing ever went precisely how I wanted it to. But looking back now, I realize just how joyous all those moments really were. And yes, I'm aware it isn't good to dwell so heavily on the past, but I can't seem to help myself.
And that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with getting sentimental. Nobody's gonna judge you for reliving one or two good memories every now and then.
Thank you, truly. You're such a kind person.
Still, you shouldn't keep all your emotions bottled up like that. We might not go back to the peace of the old days anytime soon, but we can still have tea parties. I'm always here to listen if you ever need to get something off your chest, Mercedes.
You mean that? I'm so glad to hear it. In that case, why don't we have one right now?
Sure, I don't mind. But why now?
Because I used the money I'd been saving up to buy some more ingredients. Remember how we were talking about all those different kinds of delicious fruit desserts before? Well, I went ahead and whipped some up.
I can never turn down an invitation like that. Can't wait to see what you came up with. Hey, Annette. What are you up so late for? Some kind of research?
Oh no, it's nothing like that. I've been working on this.
That just looks like a bunch of little black bugs jumping around on a page.
Excuse you, it's sheet music. I have no idea how you could possibly think the notes look like bugs.
Sorry. It's just, I don't think I've ever actually seen sheet music before. Does this mean you're writing a new song?
Mm-hmm. A lovely tune popped into my head today, so I wanted to jot it down before I forgot.
Mind singing it for me? I'd love to know what kind of song it is.
Nope, sorry. I'm not done writing the lyrics yet. I have a rough outline, but that's about it so far. Still, I want to write something happy. A song that'll make people feel good when they sing it.
That sounds great. I can't wait till it's finished.
Hey, do you remember the song I wrote about that night?
Night? Oh, you mean the horse with the human... Yeah, the song about the night, of course.
Well, I heard someone singing it again.
Look, Annette, I know you're upset I let it slip, but what's done is done.
I didn't mean it like that. I heard a mercenary singing it to himself as he died. He was covered in blood and could hardly breathe. Yet he had this great big smile on his face as the words crossed his lips. He must have been in so much pain. But still, he just kept smiling.
Probably thinking back to all the times he spent drinking and singing with his friends. Soldiers always throw the wildest parties after a battle. The sort of thing where you can find knights and mercs alike locking arms and belting out tunes.
Maybe. Anyway, I've been thinking about that mercenary a lot ever since he passed. I never wanted that song out in the world, and I'm honestly still not happy about it. But it helped him face his final moments with a smile, instead of sadness or fear. And I'm forever grateful I could provide that.
It's like I told you before, Annette. Your songs can really help people. I'm sure tons more took comfort in that song, too. Including me. Whenever I'm feeling down, I just think about one of your silly songs, and I'm right back in high spirits.
Silly? Are you implying my lyrics aren't serious? No, never mind. I'll choose to take it as a compliment. And hey, if my songs really help people that much, I better get to work writing lots of new ones.
There you go. So, what's this next one gonna be about?
Well, right now I'm planning to make it be about a group of friends who dig into a huge feast together. They keep churning out dish after delicious dish, and everyone's faces are alight with laughter and joy.
Wow, I'm getting hungry just hearing about it.
Right? Then once all the food runs out, They go off hunting for ingredients so they can cook up some more.
Okay.
But uh-oh, they come across a ginormous bear and have to battle it to the death.
A death match with a bear? I thought this was supposed to be a happy song about a feast. Guess I shouldn't judge it before it's done. Just let me know when you're finished, okay? I want to be the first in line to hear it.
Yes, of course.
Hey, Ingrid. Not too often I see you wandering in town like this.
Oh, I was just out for a walk. What about you? Are you here to do some shopping?
Yeah. Dedue asked me to pick up some ingredients for dinner.
Well, if it is food shopping you're after, then your best bet would be the boulevard past the river.
What are you so flustered for? You're not hiding something, are you?
What, me? No, not at all. It's nothing really. I'm just surprised how much you can find here.
It's a far cry from the struggling little towns dotting the rest of the kingdom, that's for sure.
Yes, Galatea is one of the regions that's found itself facing particularly hard times lately. A beautiful town like this, filled with happy people, hardly feels like it's part of the same kingdom as the blighted, barren lands I call home. The street lined end to end with blacksmiths is an especially magnificent sight. Not to mention all the wonderful smells wafting from the food stalls. Sorry, I lost myself for a moment there. In any case, it's great to see just how prosperous this town has become.
Hey, you want to go take a peek at some of those stalls with me? We can grab a bite and keep walking if you want. I saw some mouth-watering meat skewers when I passed by earlier, and this time of year's got the best fruit and fish.
Truly? I'd love to try some. Though it would not be proper for me to be engaging in such revelry as the future Count Galatea.
Hey, speaking of, have you figured out what you want to do yet?
Not at the moment, no. In fact, part of the reason I came into town today was to do some further searching. It's my dream in life to stand as a knight by His Majesty's side, just as my late fiancé once did. And even if I do not become a knight like he was, there must be a way I can protect His Majesty in a similar fashion. Perhaps I could teach the people of my house the ways of farming, and travel the kingdom cultivating land for those who need it most.
That's an idea. Definitely an unusual job for a count, but it'll be welcome for sure. And if you managed to help the kingdom prosper while you did it, people would grow more and more satisfied with the royal family's rule. That's certainly one way to protect the king. If that's the path you choose for yourself, I'll do whatever I can to support you. That's what friends do, after all.
In that case, what would you think of cooperating with me once I inherit my family's title? Just as Tobias did for my grandmother.
Don't tell me. You'd ask me to fetch you meat skewers every day to save you the trip into town?
What? I would never.
It was just a joke, don't worry. But I seriously do want to help. I believe in you, Ingrid. Hey, Hapi. You got a minute?
I have several. Need something?
So, I heard a little about your past, and I was wondering if you wouldn't mind telling me more about it.
I see. So now you know, huh? not the most pleasant story. What did you want to know?
I was thinking about how you asked all those questions about my mom. And I realized you were probably worried I went through the same thing as you.
Yeah, that about sums it up. You do have those mysterious powers after all. When I was little, some strange lady kidnapped me. I became a test subject for her twisted experiments. That's how I ended up with my condition, or whatever you want to call it. Not that it's life-threatening.
Safe to say my mom never did anything like that. I'm pretty sure I'd remember it if she did. She didn't really talk much, but I don't think she had a deceitful bone in her body. Her life was kinda just what you'd expect out in a village like that. She did keep to herself, though. Thinking about it more, it's possible she was on the run from someone.
That does sound a little worrying. But in any event, I'm glad you didn't go through what I did. And unlike me, it seems you've got a pretty good handle on your powers.
Yeah, I think I've gotten the hang of them for the most part. But that still doesn't make them safe. One day that sword might overtake me, and I'll turn into a monster. Like something out of a fairy tale.
If that ever happens, I'll just sigh, and you'll come running. Then me and all your old friends would put you out of your misery. Now that's a real fairy tale ending.
Oh, that won't give me nightmares at all. But if it ever came to it, I think that's how I'd like to go. Mercenaries need to use every weapon and tactic at their disposal. Maybe flinging these powers around isn't such a good idea. But right now, I need to do whatever I can to stay alive. Now honestly, I should probably take a page out of your book and only use them as a last resort. I think that's what makes you pretty incredible, Hapi. You've got this power right there, but choose not to use it.
I think that means I just gave up. You're way more amazing because you're still trying. No doubt about it.
No, you're the amazing one. And you can't tell me otherwise.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Anyway, was that all? 'Cause I feel like I need to move.
Yeah, thanks for talking with me. You going to train?
Yep. Figure it couldn't hurt to put in a little effort. You should come too if you're free. I hope to see you there.
Come to think of it. Experiments, huh? What did that dream even mean? Hey, Seteth. What are you staring off into space for?
Oh, it is you. I was just reflecting on the monastery.
Ah, yeah. It's that way, isn't it? In the mountains.
Correct. So close, yet still beyond our reach.
Can't say I ever learned much about it when I was there, but I know it's important to the church.
Yes. It serves as the headquarters of our order. Many saints have been laid to rest there as well. As a sacred ground, Garreg-Mach Monastery is irreplaceable. It is also a place that Flayn and I hold dear to our hearts.
So, your sister feels that way too?
Due to our circumstances, Flayn and I traveled around Fodlan as nomads for a very long time. When we accepted the Archbishop's gracious invitation, I thought we had finally found our safe haven. That it would be taken from us so easily is almost too much to bear.
Well, that's all the more reason to take it back then. I'll do whatever I can to make that happen. Oh, I mean, while staying away from the Archbishop, of course.
You must forgive me for saying what I did back then. My position required I do so. I do not personally believe, however, that any evil resides within you. Whatever the true nature of your power, I trust you wield it with a righteous heart.
So you finally trust me? I'm sure glad to hear that.
Indeed. I am truly grateful to have you as an ally. I know I have no right to say this after regarding you with such suspicion, but we need you. I pray you will continue to lend us your strength, not only for the Church, but for the future of Fodlan itself.
You can count on me, Seteth.
So it's just no? Not under any circumstances?
It is not up for debate. This is for your own good, Flayn.
Hey, you okay, Flayn? Why the long face?
My brother has seen fit to forbid me from going out entirely.
That doesn't sound unusual for him. But as long as he doesn't know, what's the harm, right?
A fair point, but my brother truly is concerned for my safety. Perhaps...
It does seem like the Church has enemies all over the place these days. So I don't know. I think I get where he's coming from.
As you know, my brother and I have lived in remote and secluded places for a very long time. All we had was each other. Then we went to Garreg Mach, and suddenly we were surrounded by all these people. I had hoped to make many friends, and listen to their countless tales of all the places I hadn't been. But before I got to really know the people at the Officers' Academy...
Everything went all topsy-turvy, and the Academy had to shut down.
Do you remember when we went into town together to look at the latest fashions? That was so much fun. I was looking forward to going shopping together again, but... perhaps I should just let the whole thing go.
Oh, Flayn. Don't give up so easily. We're just talking about a little outing here.
Even that would prove tremendously difficult for me. With the Church thrown into such chaos, my brother is in a near constant state of agitation. I must not trouble him further by making him worry about me as well.
You're very kind to your brother, Flayn. Just remember, it won't always be like this.
You think so?
Absolutely. Wars can't last forever, right? When this war ends and peace returns to Fodlan, taking a shopping trip will be no big deal.
If that is so, then would you be willing to go into town with me again when that day comes?
Of course. I'd be happy to keep you company. Or were you keeping me company? I forgot.
With that to look forward to, it should be no trouble to summon a little patience. It is times like this I am grateful you're not a man.
What? Oh, you mean because of Seteth?
Yes. I'm not sure my brother will permit me to go anywhere with a man, even when the war is over.
You'll never get to know any men if he doesn't. Are you okay with that?
No, but if I do it anyway and he finds out, I'm sure it would be, as I've said, utterly disastrous.
Well then, I'll just have to help you sneak out, won't I?
Oh my, would you really do that? I should have known you would be so bold.
So, by stationing themselves in the bog, they were able to slow the advance of the enemy horses.
Exactly. But Lug's army was prepared in other ways too. They dug pitfalls, set up anti-cavalry palisades, and more. Laying all that groundwork is what led them to victory.
It's strange how the stories of King Lug don't go into much detail about him. But once you dig a bit, you realize he was a really talented tactician. I feel like I see him in a whole new light now. Say, do you think we could use this strategy in an upcoming battle? I know we can't do the exact same thing, but in that geography book you recommended to me before...
Where have you been hiding this talent? You're absorbing everything I teach you like a sponge. I can see why Lord Lenato had such faith in you.
Oh, it's not that. You're just a really good teacher.
Even taking that to be true, you're clearly an exceptional student. I'm actually sort of jealous that Dimitri gets a great knight like you by his side. I'd love to find some reason to steal you away to my territory after the war.
Don't joke like that, Sylvain. I serve His Majesty alone.
Ooh, shut down. But yeah, I get it. Still, are you really gonna devote your entire life to being a royal knight? To live and die in Ferdiad?
That was my initial idea, but I had a talk with His Majesty recently that made me reconsider. He asked if I wanted to succeed Lenato and take over Castle Gaspar after the war.
Castle Gaspar, huh? That makes sense. Adopted or not, you are Lord Lenato's heir.
I doubt the townspeople will be very accepting of me after I allowed him to die. But I'm still the only one capable of taking on the job. Or at least that's how I like to think of it.
Sounds like a huge responsibility, all right. Definitely can't ask you to come to House Gautier in that case.
That land meant everything to Lenato, and I would do anything to protect it. I want to help other people the same way he helped me. And I think I'm finally strong enough to do that now.
I should have expected as much. But hey, if that's what you want to do, I've got your back. A little education can be handy for a knight, but castle lords need to learn everything they can get their hands on. So let me know if you ever need old Teach to fill your little head full of info, and I'll come running. Sheesh, listen to me. I think your serious nature is contagious.
You joke, but I think you've always been a serious person deep down. You're an intelligent man who's always got his mind on one thing or another. I mean, aside from the way you acted back at the academy.
Oh, the unkindest cut. Completely accurate, but still.
I'm excited to learn everything I can from you, Sylvain. I really am.
What are you doing up so late, Mercy?
I was having trouble sleeping. You too, Annie?
Yup. I'm just so nervous about our battle tomorrow.
Perhaps we should chat for a while to ease our nerves.
That's a great idea. It reminds me of when we were students at the School of Sorcery in Ferdiad.
When we shared a room and would stay up chattering until dawn?
Exactly. It feels like that was forever ago.
So much has happened in the meantime. We enrolled in the Officers' Academy, the war began.
But we've stuck together through it all, even after classes were suspended. Of course, I'm so clumsy I felt like I was always getting in people's way while we were there. I couldn't have gotten through all this without you by my side.
And I've relied on you just as much. In fact, it often feels like you're the one who's constantly coming to my aid lately. Remember when I got stuck in that bandit's trap? I thought I was done for, but you came to my rescue.
Well, I wasn't gonna leave you in a bandit trap. Although, I just ended up falling right in and getting wounded myself. I was so desperate to save you, I wasn't paying attention to what was around me. If not for you healing me, I don't know what would have happened.
Well, we worked together and made it back in one piece, so all's well that ends well.
You know, I think we've always been like this. I feel like I can overcome anything so long as I'm with you.
And I feel the same. I hope we will be friends forever.
Oh, for sure! We'll be best friends until we're a couple of wrinkled old grannies. There are so many things I want to do with you, and so many places I want to go. I don't care if we're strolling through Dedue or just window shopping. Everything's better with you.
I would love to go shopping in the capital, and then later... Say, Annie, why don't we wait to talk about this until the war is over?
What? Why?
Because then we can each write down things we want to do as we think of them, and then show our list to each other afterward. Doesn't that sound fun?
That sounds very fun. We can even compete to see who has the longest list. I'm gonna scribble all my plans down as soon as I get back to my room so I don't forget.
But won't that keep you up longer?
Oh, right. My insomnia. You were so busy chatting, I forgot all about it. Thanks, Mercy. I feel a lot better now.
My sentiments exactly. Good night, Annie. I'll see you tomorrow.
If you fall, pick yourself back up. An enemy won't wait for you to regain your footing.
Yes, Lady Ingrid.
We've been at this for a while now. Let's take a break.
Hello, all. You seem to be doing fine work with your training today. I brought snacks, so please eat up and restore your energy.
Thank you, Lady Mercedes. I'll go tell the others at once.
That would be wonderful. Oh, and I baked plenty, so there's no need to rush. Dig in, Ingrid. We must remember to treat ourselves once in a while, after all.
Thank you.
These are delicious!
Of course, I should have expected no less from you. I have been struggling every day for a way to show these girls my appreciation, yet have come up with nothing. But then you waltz in here and pull it off in one fell swoop. Just look how happy you've made them.
You give me too much credit. Children love anyone who brings them sweets.
Still, they are nothing more than bundles of nerves around me. I'm sure they'd feel at ease if only I was as kind and considerate as you.
Oh, I think you're much more important to them than I. All I do is bring snacks on occasion. You take the time to train them every day without fail. I know the only reason you're so strict is so they're ready for what awaits them on the battlefield. Your lessons are their own form of kindness. I'm certain they recognize that.
You have more confidence than I do.
Then let me ask you a question. Do you hate your older brothers?
What? No, how could I? I mean, naturally, there were times where I resented how hard they were on me, but it was never hate. They were simply looking out for me. I'm proud to call them my brothers.
You see? There are many ways to be kind and considerate.
Huh. I think I understand what you're driving at now.
There's no need to force yourself to be someone you're not. Just be yourself. You're already one of the kindest people I know.
But I'm terrible at encouraging people the way you do.
I don't think that's true. But if it really concerns you, you could try acting more like me.
Say, that's actually not a bad idea. In that case, let me dish out the same treatment you gave me the other day. Prepare yourself, Mercedes. It's time for me to show my affection.
Goodness, where could this possibly be going?